welcome back to a very special episode of Ho, Have a Seat, where we routinely snatch and gather the people, places, and things that get way too out of line in this crazy day and age of, well, just plain crazy. All in 90 seconds or less. Usually. But again, not this one. Not today. Think of it as a series of shady commercial breaks because there are some technical difficulties somewhere. I'm your wonderful, sexy, and delicious host, Uncle Auntie. You might want to pour a drink. The person, place, or thing we are snatching and gathering today is one particular participant of the Grammy Salute to Prince, Let's Go Crazy, which was overall the best and most fitting tribute thus far to the greatest to ever do it. Prince Rogers Nelson burst onto the scene in the late 70s and carved out a path for himself lasting decades. His impact can be felt in all genres and isn't limited to just music. Musician, producer, film director, and all-around sexy motherfucker. He could truly do it all. He could, but not you. And I will get to the you I'm talking about in just a minute. But first, a quick recap of the show. Opening obviously with Let's Go Crazy, performed by her and Gary Clark Jr., it was a high-energy start. As is the case with most shows of this nature, the assorted and sundry musical directors were scattered throughout the stage. And then you had Sheila E. Next up, R&B sex shooter Miguel, with a sensual take on I Would Die For You. It was just luscious. Once again, this number featured Sheila E. I mean, who knew this song needed some cowbell? But okay, what else? I found the bit with Sheila E. and Miguel dancing just a bit out of place, but again, I'm not the MD. Up next was St. Vincent with a funky version of Controversy featuring the singer playing guitar in a funky, androgynous, all-white, sexy alien getup. A performance I'm sure Prince would have loved. Sheila E. was again there on background vocals, apparently also an accomplished session singer. Who knew? Next up was John Legend, and a lot of his décolletage, so much it should have been noted as a collaboration, with another fitting performance of Nothing Compares to You, serving to remind us all that, again, nothing indeed can compare to Prince. And just as an aside, Mr. Tegan, he actually wrote the song specifically for his group, The Family. Sinead O'Connor later covered it perfunctorily, but during the Diamonds and Pearls era, vocal phenom Rosie Gaines took the song to another level, and he began to play it himself. He didn't simply keep giving it away. Next up was 1S with 1999, which must have been okay, as I don't remember a single thing about it. Then came Her Again, with a very, very sensual, erotic, sexual performance of The Beautiful Ones featuring Misty Copeland, adding an amazing and just simply elegant layer to the evening. The Grammy performance tribute that Usher and vocal stylist FKA Twigs performed earlier this year was regurgitated for this show. Usher, with his boxy boy body and a bolero jacket, was just another instance where the phrase "nothing compares" came to mind. Costume aside, Usher did a great job not trying to be Prince, while essentially giving you the essence of the energy of a Prince performance. And next up was Susanna Hoffs, lead singer of the Bangles, who did a gorgeous performance of the Prince he wrote for them, Manic Monday. Her voice was a lovely, perfectly aged Chianti. It featured a completely out-of-place Chris Martin of Coldplay on piano and accompanying background vocals that we didn't need, but he clearly read the energy in the room and faded into doing less and less. Surprisingly, no. No, Sheila. Then came the time with the original member sans Jesse Johnson, who made it quite clear over the years that he is not going to be led into the Purple Rain with the masses here. Apparently, they traveled with a fake Jerome, but fortunately for us, the real one appeared as they ran through a rather geriatric medley of Jungle Love, Cool, and The Bird. I highly suspect Sheila E. was nearby, but she would be hard to miss in the sparkly purple ring of fabric masquerading as a costume that she wore for the first half of the show. Up next was one of the best performances of the evening, the Foo Fighters with a kick-ass, rocked-out version of Darling Nikki. It is documented, well documented, that Prince himself didn't really care for the cover, but every single aspect of this performance worked. So here we are at the midway point, and I couldn't help but notice something. With little exception, every song thus far was from an era featuring The Revolution, who fortunately for us, were actually in the audience. Unfortunately for us, they were in the audience this whole time, watching people play Prince songs they currently tour around the world playing because people want to see The Revolution. Anyway, justified an ancient R&B outfit Earth, Wind & Fire did adore, and Philip Bailey did what Philip Bailey does. Another interesting choice for me is there are certainly male vocalists out there who could have pulled this off to similar, if not great effect. I am seriously wondering if Sheila E. just didn't have D'Angelo's phone number. Up next was Common, Sheila E., and the Delusion, I guess we'll call them, came out and did a version of Sign of the Times. Common added some bars that fit quite well into the performance, and Sheila E. introduced us to her best Prince impersonation, with more to come on that later. Total Loser Bex, see what I did? Total Loser Bex, see what I did there? Who I personally love, came out with a very fitting performance of Raspberry Beret. He left his homage to Prince very subtle, and it was one of the standouts of the evening. Come through, lightly rhythmic white dude. I'm here for it. The evening continues to wind down, and Gary Clark Jr. returned with a very emotional performance of The Cross. And now we are back to Sheila E. and the Shelution with her America Free, the Glamorous Life medley. That was really awkward again with the Revolution sitting on their hands in the audience while their gear cried backstage. I don't know what the issue is with Sheila and the original members of the Revolution, but as the evening went on, I could not help but wonder why have them there to sit most of it out? Why use your own house band when the band we all want to see that's been touring the world is right there? All of Sheila's semantics for me were just out of line. You were doing a lot you would not be doing if Prince was still alive. That's really about the next to the last thing I have to say about Sheila. SNL queen Maya Rudolph gave arguably the most spot-on performance of the night when her Prince tribute band Princess merged with the Revolution, finally to perform a super infectious take on Delirious. A good time was had by all, and this was a great way to set up Mavis Staples coming out and performing Purple Rain. Babies, let me tell you, when Wendy came out with that big body guitar and slayed that guitar solo note for note, all I could think of was the numerous times I've seen Sheila E. do Purple Rain in her show, and fake the solo, fuck me faces and all, while her actual house band guitarist plays the real solo behind her. Dear Sheila, again, do you really think Prince will be okay with that? He didn't like people who weren't actually singing, mouthing the word on stage. Did you write that? Was heard frequently and often at rehearsals. And wouldn't you all like to know how I know that? Wendy's solo was the fuck you very much of the evening, and I was all the way there for it. Sheila added that same tired-ass cowbell pattern from The Glamorous Life to everything she could. Her ill-fitting ensemble that was to be the assless yellow ensemble Prince wore while performing Get Off on the VMAs was horribly advised. Her sliding all over the damn place, knocking your cymbal off stage, just trying to be the star of the evening was just sad. It's as if being Sheila E. isn't enough for Sheila E. As accomplished as you are, though, without the Glamorous Life, does anybody care? Maybe, but you clearly feel some type of way. Last up was everybody all in for Baby I'm a Star, which dissolved into an epic match of who's going to take the lead on this one with lots of side-eye. This show will be pulled apart for years for all the wrong reasons, but it was nice to finally have a fitting tribute to the greatest musician of all time, even while steadily fending off being hijacked by Sheila E. It's for your antics for the evening and just all of it that I'm going to ask you, Sheila E., to have a seat. Thank you for watching Ho Have a Seat. Be sure to tune in frequently and often to see future statues and gatherings. Once again, I'm your host, Uncle Auntie. Have a fucking fabulous rest of the day. I know I'm going to. Hey everyone, it's me, Darlando. Thank you for stopping by to check out my latest video. If you liked what it is that I do, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button, give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, it all helps. If you don't like what I do, just keep that shit to yourself. I got enough haters. If you're interested in more of what I do, please follow me at It's Me Darlando on Twitter. You can also find me at It's Me Darlando on Instagram. You can find more about my social media networking and all the other things that I do at my website, TheDarlandoExperience.com. And once again, thank you for stopping by, and I hope to share more with you in the future. Peace.